Hello. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Afternoon.
Can everybody hear me properly, please? You can unmute your mic and speak if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good
Very well,
afternoon.
we can.
All right. So, welcome to this amazing webinar to kickstart your product career. We're learning how to be certified in writing user stories today. And with us today, we have the founder and director of 37 Technologies. He's the man in charge. He's the man that spearheaded the product we're going to be using today, Recustry. So Mr. Richard will be taking us on how to create user stories, how to write user stories, and after that, we'll be getting our certifications and we'll move forward from that. Mr. Richard, please.
Okay, good morning. Thanks, Femi. Thanks, everyone, for joining wherever you are. I'm joining from in the world. Welcome to this webinar. And like Femi said, we'll take you through Recustry, basically take you through user story as a process and a tool in product development, and then we'll log into Recustry and see the interface and get you certified in writing user stories. It's a hands-on session today, so I know we've been sent links and coupon codes to log in into Recustry and have the pro version. If you have done that, please give me a thumbs up. And if you don't have that yet, just let me know. Femi will, and then Femi will be able to share with you the code and how to log in. And even if you're not logged in, I think the version, the free version, you can still get certified with writing user stories with it, because we've made it a bit streamlined just to get everybody certified. At the end of today, you'll be able to see a certificate on your portal that shows that you're certified in writing user stories. Just a few feedback. You need to log in, and then you will need to log in, and you will need to actually create user stories or write user stories so that certification can come on. We want it to be hands-on and want to teach as many people as possible this process. But I know some are just starting on their journey of being of getting into product. So I will quickly just go through what it means, what user story means, and what it means to actually write user stories, and why it's a tool for people getting into product. Let me quickly share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Mr. Richard.
All right, great. Okay, so let's quickly start with how user stories started. User stories emerged as part of agile methodologies, and I've spoken to a few people who in their organization, they don't write user stories. They are strictly waterfall. But most successes in product development in the past few years has come about from agile methodologies. Agile is actually good for writing, for building products. Every product that you see today, ranging from the chairs you're sitting on, the phone you're holding, both technological and physical products, have gone through some element of agile development for that product to emerge. It's a continuous development process. It's one where whatever you're building is constantly refined and constantly built upon so that you can get the best out of that development. So, but he has his background in software development. A couple of guys who do something called extreme programming, XP, actually started writing user stories to make sure they're building user-centric products and not just the rigid requirements that most products were built from. It's got a very simple structure. As and then you define that user role, and then you state, I want a feature or action, and then you state the benefit that comes from that action. And that's essentially a user story in its basic. But when you're building a product, especially when you're working in an enterprise organization, it gets a bit complex because you write a user story from a user's perspective, but you also want to make sure that it's written in a way that it encourages discussion. If you've written a user story and it doesn't encourage whoever is going to build that user story to discuss with you or to seek further understanding, then there is a problem. Most user stories should encourage some discussion, and it should encourage a sort of collaboration within teams. And that's why Registry exists for this purpose. So why user stories? Like we said, it encourages user-centric development. It keeps the focus on delivering value to the users. It's not about saving. It's not just about um, eliminating waste or saving company resources. The main aim of building using user stories is because you want to develop something that gives value to the users. You have the users in mind. Like I said, also encourages collaboration. It bridges gaps between different teams. So there's developers, there's testers, there is analysts in a team, there's product managers, there's project sponsors, they're just different people, they're SMEs. With user stories, you bridge that gap and everybody can discuss at a level that everybody understands. And it's also flexible. It allows teams to adjust priorities and scope as new insights emerge. And you'll see from some of the stuff we'll be writing today, by the time you start writing a user story, if there's anything you think you don't understand, or you think you want to tweak, or you think you need to add, it's very easy for you to just quickly edit and add it in or remove it, just so that everybody's on the same page. So if you go into a workshop or you go into a meeting and you're discussing a particular set of user stories, it's easy for you to just quickly edit or quickly make those user stories better. Another thing that user stories do is it improves communications. Whatever complexity exists with a particular requirement, you could easily just have a discussion with whoever that requirement or whatever that user story applies to. And if you write it in that simple format as a certain persona, I want to be able to do this so that I can have this benefit. It's usually just clear. Now, the technical implication might be a bit complex, but at least you get clarity in terms of the requirement. And also, one other thing that it does is it focuses on outcome. It encourages thinking about the result rather than just the output. So, and when we say it focuses on the outcome, one of the things for you to note is the outcome is what helps the user. What helps the user? Because when you write some today, it's one of those examples I want you to also take on board. Are you helping the user, or are you just writing it so that are you just putting together something that just fulfills a condition? The focus should be on the outcome and not just the focus should be about the result and not just the outputs. Okay, so how does Registry as a tool help you with this? It gives you some guided templates. We have a CAD format that most organizations use when they write user story. You can see an example in the picture. It gives you in a format that is like a post-it. It's AI powered, so you can actually you can actually get an assistant to write it for you, while you can write it manually. Like I said, collaboration features allows teams to co-create and review user stories, ensuring alignment and clarity so everybody can work together. And yeah, it's ideal for newcomers. If you've never written any user story before, this is your first time, you're welcome on board. You'll find it a breeze. And if you've written some before, you want to just try your hands on it again, yes, this is how this is where to test it out. So let's quickly just review the interface of Recruit and I'll get everyone to start on trying to write one or two or more user stories. So on our interface, you'll see the first line, which is an epic. And this is the standard for writing most user stories. You have an epic. And what is an epic? It's a large body of work that captures a broad business or user goal. So if the first epic you're writing around what you want to build, and I would want us to take an example of somebody who wants to build an e-commerce site. So let's say you want to build an e-commerce site that sells children toys. What should be what should be your epic? One of the epics should be, in doing this, I want to have users logging in. That's your epic. So user login could be one epic. And then after that user login, you can have some other stuff under it. So a typical user story setup will have an epic, the large body of work, and the purpose of that is it's the high-level initiative that can be broken down into smaller ones and more manageable user stories. So an epic contains one or more user stories. And an example like I've given here is if you want to improve the onboarding experience for new users, that's an epic. And you can have various user stories on that. The one in the image, I think that was I think that project was called Kids Spotify. And one of the things we said was, we want to have kids-friendly interface. So that's an epic. And then you have user stories under that particular epic. So a typical user story should have an epic. What is the larger body of work? That's all, everything needs to come under. Okay. And then you will have the next thing, which is a reference. A user story should have a reference because if you're going to write so many, how do you refer to a particular user story? So there should be an identifier that is assigned to each user story to track or organize them within the product backlog. And you will see the product backlog when we log into Recruit. The product backlog scrolls from left to right, but yes, there should be a particular user story in there. There should be a particular reference for each user story in there. It's easy for you to trace, it's easy for you to reference. And if you're discussing it with a colleague that you've shared a particular user story with, or you're in a workshop, you can easily reference that particular user story to say, I'm talking about user story 102. I'm talking about user story KID 07, so that it's easy for you to identify. If you're writing sets of user stories and you're not putting in some reference numbers, then there is usually some mismanagement or some problems around that. Okay, and then the user story itself, like I defined, concise user-focused description of a feature or task, and it's written in that particular format. It defines what needs to be developed from a user's perspective, and it focuses on value delivery. Now, I said I'll add this in. If you're new into product, and say you're a product manager or product owner or a business analyst, don't be, you will meet some people that you work with and they'll start to say, you've not written it in, or they'll try and say whatever format you've written it is wrong. There's no right or wrong format to user story, to writing user story. As long as you identify a user role and a feature, and you write a benefit in this format, that is the format. Some who have advanced will have some other ideas on how to write some form of user stories. There are different flavors of user story, but this is the main one. And one of the reasons why we have Recruit was to disabuse a mind and get people off. So some people start in product and they are worried around, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? Is this user story correct? As long as you use this format and you use the way this has been generated, you are correct. And you should always push back. Some people that you work with, you might push back and say, how do you want it written? This is what I know. This is how I know how to write it. So Don't let anybody tell you you've written a user story in the wrong way or make you feel bad about whatever you've written. So this is an example. At the bottom, as a new user, I want a guided tour of the app so I can understand its key features quickly. That shows you, or whoever is building that, or the developer that's building that they need to put in a feature in the application that shows everybody how to navigate the application. That is the essence of user stories. And then we come to acceptance criteria. Each user story that you write should also have an acceptance criteria. It's just a set of conditions that must be met for a user story to be complete. So if you write a user story and you don't write an acceptance criteria with it, then it's not complete, it's incomplete. You need to say, this is what I want to see, and this is how I want this to be tested. When you work in an organization, or those of you who work in big organizations, as business analysts or even as product managers, you will be asked to conduct some of these tests with it. So each user story should come with an acceptance criteria. And if anyone says, yes, we've gone ahead and we've built this, one way for you to confirm if it's been built or not is by checking the acceptance criteria. So the example we gave before was, could you go back to that example? I want the guided tour. So part of the acceptance criteria here says it should be accessible from the home page. The tour must include at least 5 steps. The user can skip the tour at any point. So that guides what kind of delivery you want on your app. That guides the kind of interface you also want. So your user story should be concise, but you could always load up your acceptance criteria with lots and lots of conditions. The way we built Recus also, it gives you some acceptance criteria, but like I said, there is an update button and you could add more acceptance criteria as you go so that it makes your work a lot better. Okay, that's the brief I wanted to give before we go into the process of getting certified ourselves. Any questions from anyone? Any questions? Okay, does that mean we're all good and ready to get certified? Okay, let's get certified then. So this is where you have to log into Recus 3. Let me stop sharing and so I could share that for you. So this is where we all log into Recus 3 and then we carry out, we pick up projects. So if you're logged in, you should be seeing this interface. I'm trying to make this as interactive as possible. So if you're logged in and you have this and you're on your dashboard, can I get a thumbs up?
If you have any questions, guys, you can easily unmute your mic to speak.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I see a few thumbs up in there. Okay, great. Just before we go ahead, I just wanted to explain a bit of the interfaces with you. On your left, you see projects. On this, you'll see the dashboard. If you come here every morning, you'll see different products. And these are products so many people have built. We pull this in from Product Hunt, but it just gives you an inspiration if you're looking to build stuffs. And you will see some corporate products also in here. If you want to see more products, you can come to product review, and there are lots of products in here. This refreshes every day, so refreshes every hour, I think, so you can see different products in here, just to get inspiration on what others are building. So that's from your dashboard. Your products will be listed, your projects will be listed here as you keep writing user stories or creating projects on Recus 3. If you want to see how it works, also there's a demo where you could click through to understand how everything works. And by the time we're done with certification today, you will be able to see your certifications in here. And if you need to print it out or share it, you'll be able to do that. I see a hands up. Halimat, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I tried logging in and I'm getting this error message. Email has already been taken. I don't know what to do.
I think maybe you've logged in before. Do you still remember your password?
No, I haven't. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure I created an account also.
Did you just create an account? Or do you think you've created an account before?
I did not. I did not. I don't think
Or
I
you-
did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have another email? Do you want to create with another email?
Okay. Yeah, I do. All right.
Please.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, just create another account with with another email so you can follow us. Okay, so yeah, you'll see your certification in here. We're adding more features, but as time goes by, you will you're already a part of the group. You get emails around new features, and if you have any new feature or if you have any issues that you think you want to raise with us, just come to the support and drop us a message in here. We'll get it instantly and we'll respond to you. Okay, so let's do a project today. Now I would ask that you choose something that you wanted to build. If you wanted to build an e-commerce site that sells something, or you wanted to always build an application, or you wanted to any product idea that you have, I would suggest that you create that yourself. But for the purpose of this demo, I will be creating. I'll give it a name. I want to give it Space Pro. And my description of it. Now, I've seen a few people struggle with this. It's not a prompt. Cynthia, I'll answer your question in 1 minute. The project description doesn't have to be like a prompt into ChatGPT or anything. It should just be a short description of your project, of your app, of your website or software or a product that you want to build. Just give it a short description. We've modified the prompt at the back enough to understand whatever description you've given to it, and it will try to interpret it correctly. So yeah, just give it a description. Don't go too technical on it. I've seen a few. I was actually reviewing for someone recently who pasted around 2 pages of description in there. No, it doesn't work that way. It just needs a short description, just a guide, and then you will be able to expand on it within the project as you go. Yeah, Cynthia, you had a question?
Yes, I wanted to confirm if we're just going to follow along the project the demo
No,
project, or would have our own projects that we want
please
to do.
go ahead with your own project. I think it gets real for you if you have something that you're building, and then or you have an idea and you create it yourself. If you go ahead with me, you're just going to create the same thing as me, and it doesn't feel real to you. So yeah, think of something
Okay.
that you've always wanted to build, and then yeah, create it
Okay,
that way.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Please, I hope we're all following along, because I will be asking you to post your certification into the chat just to confirm that you followed along. So please, everyone, I hope you're creating a project, and then you're putting in a description. So Space Pro, my short description will be an app.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, sorry to cut you. A project can be a website, right?
It can be a website, an app. It can even be a physical project. It can even be a physical. So if you're building toys for kids, you can actually still create user stories for that, because it's a product. It's something that you're building, and the user stories will give you a user's perspective. So if if we say we're creating, let's say, for example, we're creating baby dolls for girls or toys for boys, you could still write user stories around that because it will tell you from the perspective of a child what should that product look like or what should that product feel like. It will also tell you from the perspective of a parent what they want to see. So for instance, if one of the things that you will see in a user story is, okay, I want the toy to not be too small so my child doesn't swallow it and I don't have to rush them to the hospital. That's a user story. So you know that whatever you're developing needs to be of a particular size. So it can be anything, but it has to be something real. It just can't be something virtual. Okay?
Sorry, sir. Thank you, sir.
Great. Okay, so I'm just writing this space probe and I have to see the different moons for different planets from a telescope. It's just something random I've thought about now. Like I said, your projects could be different. If you have a logo, it's usually good if you can pull one up. Let me see if I can just find an image on my PC to put in. So if you've got an image on your system, just put one in. It's asking you to upgrade to create a project. Do you have a project created already? Do you have one project created already? And this is a second one. Okay, that's and Femi can give you the code. You can actually just upgrade for free, and then you could continue. It will ask you for a card, but it's not going to charge you. Femi, can you share the code to Miriam? Great. Yeah. So yeah, anyone here, and this is for anyone, if it's asking you to upgrade and you've created a project, I think in the emails we sent out, you can just easily you can just use a code. It's not going to charge you. It just Stripe just usually will ask you for your card number, but if you put in the code, it's free, and then you could use the pro version. Okay. Quickly looking for an image to attach. Okay, let me just use it. So you could just use any, if you've got an image, if you're building a product and you have a logo, you could always put it. One of the reasons why that is good is it differentiates your project. Yes, John has, okay, yeah, I've also got the same problem. John has a question. Yes, John.
Yeah, so can we upgrade can we do the upgrade now, or it has to be done after the session?
No, you can quickly do it. You can do the upgrade now. Yeah, they posted the promo code. It will ask you for a card. It's asking me the same. So I could delete this project and I think I'm just going to delete this project and then try and see if it will let me do that again. But you could do it now, or you could just delete your existing project and then continue with it. But
I don't have any existing projects. Right.
So, and is it still telling you to upgrade?
No, it's not telling me to upgrade. I was just asking. Yeah.
No, you do this, but after this, then you could just upgrade. It's free to upgrade. You just need your card number, but don't how do I say, don't drop out of your project and then go back in, because it will let you continue now, because it just needs you to have one project. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir. I get it.
Okay, great.
Yes, sorry, please. Yeah, I'm done creating the user stories.
Oh, you're done creating the user story?
Yeah.
Great. So give us 1 minute, because we want to be sure. We all want to be on the same page. Yes, there's another question. Miriam?
Yeah, so I tried to put in my card number now, but it didn't to upgrade or to go to pro, but it doesn't give you so it only has the long card number, so there's nowhere to put anything else. So when I put subscribe, it doesn't go. Then it also says put coupon. I tried to put the coupon that was put in the code that was given, and that doesn't work as well. So
Let me actually go into that page and show you. So this is it. Can you see my screen?
1 second. Yes, I can.
Okay. So if you click on subscribe now,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say you can pick the Pro Yearly one. It's still going to give you access for a year. This is where you put your card number, where it says card number. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me see because card number. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not very clear.
Exactly. It's one
But
problem we noticed this morning. So you put your card number here,
okay, got it.
and then you put the code, you put the coupon code at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, let me just finish this thing.
Can you also regenerate the user story? Like if you don't like the first output.
Exactly. You could either delete them, or
Okay.
you just, yeah, I was just going to come, I was going to get there. So let me go back to projects and show you this Pro. Okay. It's just good to have an image attached. So if you write a user story, so yeah, this is the part where if you click on create user story and you click on generate, it's automatically, so it's usually automatically set to automatic, and then it generates you a set of user stories. If you want more, you can just keep on generating, and it will keep on coming up with more user stories. The more you want to generate, just keep on generating. Okay, thanks, Mariam. Now, if you want to manually write, if you click on create user stories, you can go to manually, and then you write. You write what you want. Now, one of the things I want you to know is it's also the AI will not give you all the user stories you need. It will give you some in a way that you don't like it. So, for instance, if I don't like the first one, or if I don't like a particular user story, just because there's a word or there is a sentence in there that you don't like, you can always update and then change it to whatever you want it to be. If there's a particular set of acceptance criteria that you think still needs to be added or needs to be deleted, you can always just delete them. So let's say I delete this and then update, and then it becomes that. If you want to add, so you've read through, and this is part of what it means to be an analyst or product manager. You've read through, there's a particular user story that you want, that it's not writing for you, you could always add it. So I've said I want to explore moons. I could add my epic to explore other planets. And it says as a space enthusiast, want to explore other planets and see. Okay. No. Yeah. That's the as a into yes. That is spelling of enthusiast. Yeah. Okay, so I want to, and then you write your acceptance criteria. I want to see So just an example, and then you have a user story. So that's a manual user story that you've added. And then you can go on and on depending on what you want to see in your product. You can write as many user stories that you want. You can have the AI keep generating some. If there are some you don't like, you just go back and easily just delete them. Or if you want to delete, and if you want to, now another thing that we've added in here is you could always change the context. So whatever your description is, the AI will keep generating user stories based on this description that you've put in here. But if you think, oh, okay, maybe this description is not giving me what I want, you could always come in here and delete that description and give it. So this is an app to see the different moons for different so see the different moons for different planets from a telescope. Let's say you don't want to see it from a telescope, you want to see it from a space shuttle, just as an example, and you update that. Then when you click on create user stories again, the context is changed. So it's going to now keep generating user stories based on this new context. So and the user stories from here on will be about seeing moons from a space shuttle. Ibrahim has a question. Does it automatically save the user stories without exporting it? Yes, it automatically will save. So all these user stories are saved into your account. If you don't export it, next time you log into this, you will see space, bro. You will see this user story and everything in here for the user story. It's automatically saved.
I may have to take you back a bit. I think maybe you've
Yes.
explained it on how to generate more user stories. So what if I like one particular user story but now I want to expand on that one. So out of the, let's say I got 4 user stories and I like the 4th one and I want to expand on that 4th one. Is there a possibility to do that?
Okay, so let me use this example, my own example. So let's say I like these particular user stories as an amateur astronomer. I want to be able to enter the date and time of my telescope. So, and I like this, and I want to expand on this a bit more. You can always take this and put it into your context. So, to be able to enter the date and time of my telescope so I can track the different moons for different planets. So tracking the different moons for different planets, tracking different moons for different planets is what I want to expand on. And then you can go in here and say, and I have to see different moons for different planets. And you delete that and say to track the different moons for different planets. Now, it's not going to delete everything you've had before, but going forward, it will be showing you, it will start giving you user stories based on that aspect that you want to expand more on. And that is how it works to get you more user stories related to exactly what you want, not exactly what it's giving to you. And most of the times, if it's giving, once you start generating user stories automatically, and you notice, okay, this is what I want to focus on, just change this context. You just need to change this statement to match that context that you want it to focus on, and then it will start focusing on that going forward. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It makes sense. Okay.
Another
Another
question?
one.
Yeah, go on,
Yeah,
go on,
another.
go on. That's why we're here.
Okay, so how do I, before I start expanding on one particular user story, how do I move from, because I just have only 4, but what if I want to have more than 4? How do I generate more user stories?
Just click on create user stories, generate user
Okay,
stories.
then generate user story. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it just generates, just keep generating. It can generate as many as you want. Although it's an AI, at some point it will keep repeating itself. So you need to know, okay, I have enough. I need to give it a different context so that it can keep generating more. That's why as a background, you also need to know what you want to create. So it's not just you're not just sitting there and saying, "Oh, generate this user story for me, generate this user story for me." You need to know, okay, this is the direction I want to go in. And I'll give an example also. So let's say you're building a banking app, and this is how user stories work, and this is why this will work for you a lot. Let's say you're building a banking app. If you're building a banking app, it's not just going to be you. It's going to be guys from IT security, guys from compliance, guys from finance. Different people will come together to be your stakeholders for building that banking application. So if you're writing a user story for that, you start with, okay, I want a set of user stories that relates to IT security to make sure this application is secure. I want to have a set of user stories that relates to ledgers to make sure that credits and debits are properly recorded. So that's how, and if you're using this in that way, you're just going to keep changing the context so that you're putting in the right text, and then it's automatically generating some user stories for you based on that context that you've put into it. And if at any point in time you think, okay, no, I need to write this myself, because there are some contexts it will not be able to get. So if you have a particular organization, if you have a particular bank and there is a particular set of stuff that it needs to, you need to put into that app, but you know that because of the nature of an AI, it probably wouldn't understand that, then you will need to manually type it in yourself to say, okay, I want this to be able to do this, because this is you wouldn't understand this context. You need to also remember that using an AI to generate user stories, it's still limited to, it would probably do 90% of the job, but you still need to do about 10%, the 10% that's remaining. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does. So I'm guessing also that when we've selected the user story one, then we can move it down to the to-do list.
Yeah, so this is this is the Kanban board, and it's meant to help when you, I would say first, you need to have finished writing all your user stories and be sure. One of the reasons why we've made it like this is, I don't know if anyone has used Jira before. The Jira interface just has an horizontal view of your backlog, but this helps for readability. This helps you to read better, so you can move the user stories as you can move the user stories as you write them. So this is essentially your backlog, and you can move the user stories. Now, when you're done and you're starting to work on your user stories, this is your Kanban board to say, okay, this is fine. We're going to build this, and then you move it to your Kanban board below. This is fine. We're going to build this. You move this to your Kanban board below. We're not going to build this now. We're not going to build this now, but it looks like we're going to build this now, and you move it to your Kanban board below. And then you can easily now track to say, okay, yes, the developers finished building this, and the developers finished building this, and you move it to done. So essentially, this part is to help you with managing what you're going to build now or what you're going to build in the future. It's different from the traditional Kanban board, but we've stripped out a lot of stuff from it, because in the actual sense, when you're building stuff, you're just really concerned about, I want to build this now. This looks like what we can build now, and then going ahead to building it and getting it all done, instead of so many complexities that come with lots of the Kanban boards out there, bone down chart and all, just some analytics for analytics sake. We've stripped it down from that to just make it as simple as possible. For you as a product manager or business analyst, this is just a tool for you to say, yes, this is how this is going, and this is how we're moving, and this is done. We built this. We're building this next. Okay, we're building this next, so I'll move it to doing, and whenever we've finished building it, we'll move it to done. But I'll say you need to first make sure your backlog is completed, and make sure that you have all the user stories that you need. The ones you don't think you need, you delete them. If you think you need to share them for approval, export it. If you click on export, it automatically creates an Excel sheet for you, and you can just save it. And if you need to forward it to someone for approval, you could always forward it to them for approval, and then start. When the build starts, you can easily just use your Kanban board to manage that. Is that clear?
Yes, it is. It's clear. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Any other question? I know we've done a few, and our time is fast spent. We're supposed to spend an hour here. So let's quickly go to the certification. And you can see from here, I'm not certified yet. Is anyone certified yet? Have you been writing user stories? Are you certified?
Yes, I am.
Oh, congrats. Who else? Anyone else certified?
I can't even find the certification button.
It's under product review.
That product review.
Can you see my screen?
Let me see.
Product review certification.
Okay.
Have you found yours?
Yeah, I have, but I'm not yet certified.
Okay. How many user stories, AI user stories do you have? How many?
So
I can't
that
see
means
mine.
to get certified, do we have to write like 3 user stories?
So you need to automatically write 10 user stories and manually write 10 user stories.
Oh my Lord Jesus.
That's not hard. We just don't want you to just click. We need you to think through your project and write it, so that you're not just clicking through. Because that's what will make you know how to write user stories.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what will make you know how to write user stories.
How do
Sorry,
I
also,
navigate?
Sorry, let's hear from Abiodun first.
Okay, thank you, sir. How do I navigate? I've not been able to, under my dashboard,
Yes.
I can only see product review.
No,
It's not
so
really,
there's a sidebar that shows projects, account setting, demo. Can you see my screen?
yes.
Yes. Can you see this sidebar? Then there's certification on that.
He's probably using his mobile device. Probably.
Are you using your mobile? Are you using a
No,
phone?
I'm using a laptop. And I don't know
Okay.
why it's not really
Okay.
going.
Maybe you did you expand? Click on refresh and let's see if your sidebar comes up.
Okay, I'm refreshing now. I've done that.
Can you see your sidebar?
Yes, I'm seeing my sidebar where I have my dashboard. I can see project, account, setting, demo, product. It stopped at product review.
Okay. Can you
Mine stopped
scroll
at
up
demo.
or something?
I've tried as much as possible.
Can you share? Is it possible to share your screen?
No, I'm using my phone to watch while I'm practicing on my laptop.
Practicing on the laptop.
Yes.
I don't understand how.
Okay, let me, if I can snap.
Yeah, if you can take a screenshot and I can, so that we can look into that for you. Okay. Yeah, John, do you have a question also?
Yes, so I refreshed my page and mine stopped at demo.
And you can scroll further up?
I can scroll further up. No, I can't scroll further down. It stopped at demo. I can see other projects, One Step IT, but mine stopped at demo.
And you're using a laptop also?
Yes, I'm using a laptop.
Okay, that's strange. Anybody else experiencing that?
So I can see projects, account settings, and demo. That's the last thing I can see.
Okay. But if you can see projects, have you created user stories?
I just did the one we just did now. I did one. Just this is my very first user story.
Okay. Yeah, okay. If you can keep creating user stories, I'm trying to, let me see from the back end if there's anything that is stopping you from.
So you said before we get certified, we should do 10 automatic.
Yeah, 10 automatic and 10 manual. That should be, that's the 10 automatic, 10 manual. Then then the certification pops up. You will see in your certification.
For the manual now, when we write one project, do we have to generate like 4 acceptance criteria, then do another one again?
No, so for the manual, you can have one epic. You can even have one epic that is the 10 user stories, and then you put 10 user stories under. You just need to think through. Although it's a system, whatever you put into it, it will record it for you. But I would say for you to understand properly, you need to think through what your project wants to do, and then write from a user's perspective. You need to think through, okay, I'm a user. If I'm using this project, what do I want to see? And then you write 10 user stories. And just if you write just one acceptance criteria for each of those user stories, it's fine. But it gets you into understanding how user stories work. And then, so if somebody comes tomorrow and says, "Oh, you are not," how do you will understand by the time you write 10. You will understand how user stories are written. You will understand how it works. Based on that. That's why we wanted just 10. If you're building anything serious, you would have to write more than 10 user stories, believe me. It's not just 10 user stories that you write. Okay. There are a few questions in the group. Okay. Ibrahim was saying you should try and log out. I would like to ask if the public has access to a project like the one we see when we log in. That's a feature that we're building, Ibrahim. We've designed for it already, where you can make some of what you built public. But even without doing that, I would say if you're starting out in projects and if you think of a concept, so I know somebody who used Recruit Street to apply for a job actually recently, and what they did was they took the job description and they tried to figure out what the organization was trying to build, and they used Recruit Street to write the user stories, the process maps, and a few of the prototype, and they sent it to the hiring manager. It was actually a bank in Nigeria. So that's what they did. So they knew the bank was trying to build some applications and they were recruiting product managers and project managers. And what they did was use Recruit Street to write some of the user stories, some of the process maps, and some of the prototype for what the bank was trying to do. And they got called for an interview because that shows they were already thinking of the problem, and it wouldn't be hard to onboard them. So I would say yes, use it as much as you need to understand the process of building products, and you need to also understand how writing user story helps you, because if you eventually get that job or get that role, you will need to know how to write all those things.
I was actually expecting us to do the process map and prototype, but it looks like our time is up.
Yes, our time is up. But this, I think we can keep, I'm not sure if we can keep this chat open, but our time is up. Are you certified now, Cynthia?
No, not yet. I haven't yet written the 10 manual user stories. I'm looking at it here.
Do we have to write the 10 stories via one project, or it can be across different projects?
You can write it across projects, but you can write it also on one. It doesn't matter. And if you write it on one, if you write it across, but it gives you, I think it shouldn't just be something that you write today and you stop writing also. While an AI can always write it, it's always good if you can write it yourselves also. Okay. Yes, our time is almost out, but if you're still, question, yes, go on, John.
Okay, so is it 10 user stories for one epic? Yeah.
If you think you have 10 user stories for one epic, yes, go ahead. But if you have different epics, right, as long as you write 10 user stories. So user stories by themselves are 10. But epic is just that general grouping. So if you have 10 user stories that can fall under one epic, let's say management of an application, of the application, and you can find 10 user stories to put it under that epic, then it's fine. It doesn't have to, the epic itself is just like a grouping, just to make you understand how the user stories should be grouped.
Okay,
yes,
so for the automatic
okay.
one also, just keep generating with AI
For
and
the
we get up to 10 and we're good.
Yeah. For the automatic, just click on create user story, generate user story. You have 10. That one is not that one is just click. But we also want you to manually write so that you know the concept and you're not just clicking to get certified.
Okay.
Any other question?
I just wanted to ask, how do you create an epic? Because it just says create user story.
So if you click on create user story and you click on manually, then there is an epic title.
Right.
Type in your the title, and then so you type as A, and you need to type the persona. I don't think I mentioned the persona. The persona is just a person. So as you can see here, a parent, amateur astronomer, individual, enthusiast, whatever it is, those are just different personas. So you need to, and if you're not sure of what persona the person is, just say as a user. And then you write, I want to, it's just what you want to see in the app that you need to put down.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay. I know writing down those 10 manual ones will be a bit of it will stretch us a bit, but it shouldn't take us more than 5 minutes to write. So I'd really like to see somebody post a set. Okay, I think somebody has said they are certified already. I'd like to see 1 or 2 more people get certified before we round up. Anyone else who's certified? One of the things you can do, please, once you get certified, let others know, and you could post it on your social media accounts so that we can see it and tag us in. Recruit Streets on LinkedIn or 3D7 Technologies on other platforms. We like to take a feedback from this session. So Femi will send everyone an email just asking us for our feedback. But has anyone found this useful, or has this been a waste of your time? If you found it useful, please let me see your thumbs up or thumbs down if you haven't. And I'm hoping everyone would respond so that we can know that we've had a session that's been worth a while. Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay, our time is fast spent and we want to keep the time. Anyone with thanks. Does anyone, I hope everyone knows how to reach us. Respond back to Femi if you're stuck with anything or if you need any help. But I do hope you guys had found it useful, and I hope you've learned something that you can add to your CV and add to your career development. If you need any other thing from us, do let us know. And as we go, we'll keep sharing additional features. We have a few features coming in, and we'll share that with you guys as we go. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.